This video will prepare you to investigate questions 1 and 2 of Module 2, Investigation 5. These questions step you through a line of reasoning that will help you piece together what we mean when we speak of average speed. You will need to have patience as you answer each part of the questions because it is not initially obvious how the parts all relate to one another. However, by the time you get to the end, with some perseverance, you will have an opportunity to reflect on how all of the questions fit together to help you address the idea of average speed. Question 1 begins by giving you a formula that relates two quantities: a car's distance from a crosswalk measured in feet, whose values are represented by d, and the number of seconds since the car started moving, whose values are represented by t. Part A asks you to find the change in d as t moves from 1 to 3, which can be explored using the formula d equals t squared plus 3.5. Then, subsequent parts ask you to compare the way that the values of d actually change as t moves from 1 to 3 with the way that the car's distance from the crosswalk d would be changing if the car's distance was changing at a constant rate with respect to time. From previous investigations, we know that a graphical representation of two variables that change at a constant rate with respect to one another forms a straight line. However, the relationship between the variables d and t is not linear. The formula that relates them does not define a straight line. A formula with t squared in it, like this one, will have a different shape. Do you know what it is? As you answer the questions for question 1, take ownership of the problem. Clearly draw the graphs that are asked for, being sure to mark the scale on the horizontal and vertical axes. Represent the increases in the variables using line segments on the graph. And take risks by explaining your thoughts on the true-false questions and on the parts that ask you to explain what something means in the context of the problem. Question 2 requires you to continue exploring the same ideas as in question 1. However, question 2 is a little more succinct. It gets to the point more quickly. Reflect on question 1 as you answer the parts of question 2 and see what kinds of connections you can make. Submit your answers to all parts of questions 1 and 2 in Module 2 Investigation 5 using your instructor's preferred method by the time and date that your instructor has identified.